Welcome back to Unranked Podcast. You have Elijah here alongside Grant. We're going to dive in deep NBA playoffs. It's going to be the whole entire topic today. We've already had a couple of play-in games under our belt here, and we're approaching the real deal playoffs today/tomorrow.
Yep.
So, it's kind of we're going to go over what we think as far as who's our personal favorites, heading in, and just kind of what we think about the lay of the land. So.
Yeah. So you can see here, we're sharing the screen. We've got the playoff bracket. Obviously you already know that Brooklyn's going to end up playing the Celtics, and then Minnesota's going to end up with that matchup, with Memphis. So, yeah, I guess where do you want to start at? You want to start on the east side, and then do the west, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, I guess we can start with the east, top down.
All right, so we'll start at the play-in matchups. We got Atlanta and Charlotte. They tip off. I think they're actually playing right now. So, I know the game already started, but I think overall I feel like I'd probably go with Atlanta. For that pick, I would say overall I'd probably go with Atlanta, to essentially advance and get that 8th seed. So going from there, I'd probably pick Miami to beat Atlanta. I think it'll be a pretty tough series. Collins is hurt for Atlanta, but I do think, I can see Miami maybe beat them in like 6, something along those lines. So what would you say your thoughts are for that, potential matchup? I don't know if you have anybody else advanced or you.
Yeah, no. So I agree. I think Trae Young, obviously he's a phenomenal player. LaMelo Ball's great young players also, but I think Trae Young, he's already showed that he can step up in big games or games when it's needed. He's already had, a pretty successful playoff run under his belt last year, all things considered. They got hot, and I think they. So with that being said, I don't know. I kind of just considered them. We'll probably get this one, and I kind of agree with you across the board as far as Miami's just better coach, a little more established players, kind of just the slow, sleepy killer all year. Just solid 53 wins. Not a lot of spice, not a lot of nothing. The best thing, the only thing they really hurt them all year, they got him any publicity is when they got into it on the sideline. So,
That's true.
That's just just to go show how good of a machine they do have rolling there. I think they'll take care of business. Like you said, probably 6 games.
Yeah. And I think, Atlanta, good team. They obviously didn't have the season they had last year. I think last year, not to say the run they had was a fluke. They just kind of ran into, the Knicks that were kind of had a team full of guys that were also experiencing their first playoff run or first playoff game. So I think, they'll make it tough. But I definitely do think that Miami will end up pulling out 5 or 6 games. So we'll shift gears here to the 2-7 matchup in the East. You already know Brooklyn's advanced. They're going to be playing Boston in the first round. I'll go ahead and just kind of kick it off with this one. I think I'm going to end up taking the Celtics in 7. I think it's going to be one of those things where, the Celtics are number 2 in the league in defense. They actually – some are even saying they kind of welcome this matchup they could have easily sat their starters and maybe dipped to the 3 seed, and then the Bucks might end up getting the 2nd seed, but they actually ended up playing to win their last game of the season that catapulted them to that 2nd seed over the Bucks. So they do get that Nets matchup, and only reason why I think that the Celtics will end up pulling it off. For me, it's just going to be a challenge. If for the Nets, as far as the defensive standpoint, I just feel like, having to solely put, literally, it's going to be on the shoulders of Kyrie and Kyrie squarely. And, obviously they're going to need some, some help from some of the role players and such, but I can't see them right now just beating anybody in a 4-game series. I'm sure you disagree.
No. So, I don't want to agree with you again here. So hopefully we have some splinters, but obviously I picked them. I'm a big KD fan. They've had a lot of turmoil this year. I think trading arguably a top, what would you say, James Harden, top 10, top 5 player in the league, when he's in his peak. So they had to trade him. The biggest piece they got back isn't played yet. Their coach sucks. They have, Joe Harris, a good spot of shooters, just, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league is out.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot. So I think you watched that game last night and you see that they could still be special with what they do have.
Yep.
But I think that's just too much to overcome. The Celtics are playing some of the best basketball since All-Star break, since the start of the year. They have a phenomenal record, and Jason Tatum, all around good game.
Jaylen Brown,
Al Horford, Lansing local. He's just doing what he does best. He's just a good piece. He's find a way. He's always somehow plays that role that he has now, and it's just a great role for him. A bit of a facilitator, protects the rim well, can knock down some open jumpers. So they're a dangerous squad. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, that's a great duo. So I think 7 games there again, like you said, and that would even probably be with KD or Kyrie having to go for 40 or 50 once or twice, even to get to the 7 games.
They got to average 70, total.
Yeah. And I do think, people like Drummond might be able to play a role in this series.
Mm-hmm.
People along that might step up and have a bigger role, but I can't see them overcoming it and, back to the drawing board for them, because this team is supposed to be competing for championships, and they're fighting for their life to, in the play-in. So,
yep. I think one thing I've always harped to you, man, is just seeding. Obviously they had a pretty crazy season. But I don't care who you are, man. Anytime you're even last year when the Lakers got that 7 seed, you just don't want to be in that spot. No matter what the best player, what players you have on your team, best player in the world, top 3 best players, 2 of the top 5 best players, you just don't want to really be there. And I feel like they have they literally lost 8 or 9 in a row back in late February or early March, and still kind of figuring things out, but like I said, that's why I'm picking them in 7, because in the back of my mind, I know that, they can literally come out and, steal a game in Boston, or, if they go down 2-0 and go back to Brooklyn, they can tie it up, and make it a 3-game series. So anything can kind of happen there overall. I think that's probably going to end up being one of the best series in the first round. So yeah, that being said, we're going to jump to this 4-5 matchup. Sixers and the Raptors. So one of the big things about this matchup overall is Matisse Thybulle. He cannot travel to Toronto, so he's essentially unavailable for 3 games, 3 out of the 7 games. If it does go 7, I'm gonna go out on the limb. I love Embiid. Don't love what Harden been doing. I just don't. They gave up quite a few pieces when they traded with Brooklyn. Some people that are going to be really important that I think they're going to really, really miss. I'm actually going to take the Raptors to win in 6. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Harden, man. I think you talk about, people can talk about how out of shape he is. He kind of values the party in life, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? You got all that money, do your thing, and as long as you can kind of come in and play the way you need to play, when the lights shine the brightest. But he just hasn't really been doing that, or showing that he's even put himself in a situation to be able to perform at a high level. So it's hard for me to pick the Sixers to advance.
Okay. And so I actually did pick the Sixers. I just think that's a pick more so out of dislike of the Raptors than it is like of the 76ers. I do like Embiid, and I'm pretty much agree with you. I like Embiid. I don't like James Harden's game overall. I think he obviously is subject to have real explosive games, but that's very scarce for him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Embiid always comes to play. Maxi's a good young player for them. That's a player that I've enjoyed watching. I didn't know much about him prior to this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I see them winning this, and I forgot what you said, but I think I see the Sixers winning this, and I would say probably 7 games.
Okay.
And that's just, I would say that's giving. I guess I kind of want to even want to go 6, but I don't really. I know the Raptors. I guess Nick Nurse is a good coach, so they could probably put together some sort of good game plan. But I think ultimately Embiid is going to lean it out, and
Yeah, this is what's interesting about them. I just put up the Raptors roster. They don't have a guy over 6'9", So I feel like Embiid's gonna be able to kind of do whatever he wants. But then, like on the flip side, they got like, I mean, going down the roster, Chua 6'8", Anobi 6'7", Scotty Barnes 6'7", Pascal Siakam 6'8". And I'm kind of like rattling this off because I feel like these are players that they're gonna like almost have like take turns guarding Harden and just make things very, 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 very difficult on him. Like they can, Embiid can score 40 a night, and it's like, all right, Embiid scored 40. We just got to make sure we keep Harden at bay, and it's almost like.
And he's easy. He's an easy player to frustrate. I
Right.
think if you knock him off his game and he had like a 4 for 19 in that game one, you lost him.
Downhill.
Yeah.
And I think, I think that, and then it's gonna be one of them things where it's like, all right, we're gonna sit back, we're gonna see if second year guy Maxey can beat us, and then once again, they're not gonna have one of their best defenders, Matisse Thybulle, for a good part of that series. So
right.
So we'll go ahead and shift gears here. I think this is the matchup that's going to be very lopsided, in my opinion. The Bulls and the Bucks. The Bucks are not your typical 3 seed. I think everybody kind of knows that. And because we saw how close the standings were during the season. As far as they're literally like if they would have won their game this past Sunday, they would have ended up being the 2 seed. So they really literally are like a game or two away from being a 1 seed. So I think with them, I don't think like Lonzo's out for the Bulls. They have kind of just struggled pretty mightily the last few seasons. I think Levine is banged up a little bit. DeRozan's really just kind of had him on his back, this entire time. He had all them crazy stretches where I think he had like over 35 a game for like 7 or 8 games in a row, something crazy. I just don't see them really having an answer for like anybody or in the Bucks. We see how deep the Bucks are. You got guys like Portis, Ibaka, Connaughton coming off the bench. They got shooting. I think, to me, the Bucks are the most complete team in the East. So that's just my opinion. So I see them winning like it'll be, I think, 4 or 5 games.
Okay. Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful. Probably get the broom out. I think it'd be like you said. They're not a typical 3 seed. Giannis. He's in one of them type of like we talked about yesterday in pre-production. Giannis is in one of those groups where it's like he can win an MVP at any season if you just want to give it to him. So he's in MVP form. They won a championship last year, so they had championship hangover, or they could have had some of that this year. And for them to even come out, like you said, be 1 game within 2nd seed, just rolling really. I think they picked up. They didn't make a big splash, but I always thought picking up Serge Ibaka was a great championship type move where, it's not the biggest name, whatever, just a solid ass player that's going to give you, a solid 15, 20 minutes a game and awesome defense, hit the 3 a little bit. And I think somebody like that adding to a championship team, they didn't lose anybody.
Yep.
I just really think they're rolling. I think they're in good form. So I think you could probably get the broom out for that. And, and Giannis, he's just a beast. I mean, he played the Pistons like 2 games the last 4 or whatever. And it was really the fact that he was even out there playing, I was impressed. I'm like, why? He's out there playing this team that they know they could probably beat without, and he's out there playing, 34 minutes. So I just think that just shows the type of mindset that they're in.
He's getting lathered up, man. He's getting, just getting ready, getting warmed up for this playoff run. I think, he's not a typical like superstar. Like I said, a lot of teams that are having that hangover, here and there. I mean, I think he's one of them guys like leads by example. They've watched him do like the worst of the worst and play the worst of the worst. And then I think we all literally just watched him grow through the playoffs next year. And I think his confidence is sky high. And I just feel like he definitely not letting the Chicago Bulls, come in a way of advancing. So yeah, we'll shift gears to the second round here. So for our viewers, bear with us. We don't have anything to be able to move the logos, or some of that stuff is still in progress on our end. But so the second round matchup, who do you think? I know I said I was going to take Toronto. You said you were going to take the Sixers. I think that this is where Miami. I think I just have them, moving past the Raptors. 4 or 5. I'd say like 5 to 6 games. I say 6 overall. Cause I don't know. I'm a decent fan of the Raptors, and I think they got a good thing going up there. So that's who I would definitely take Miami to beat them to go to the conference finals. Who would you take out of Miami and Philly to advance to the conference finals?
Yeah, so I got Philly going to the conference finals.
Ooh,
Yeah. I
okay.
know you've been high on the Heat, which is kind of crazy because they did pull out the first seed. So I will give you kudos to that. You've been talking about them, and I was like, bro, they're like, you remember at one point they were like 6-18 or some shit, and I was like, I don't know, Grant.
I just
But
believe
no,
that
so
Heat culture,
you've been,
man.
yeah, no. So I mean, they are, you know, Kyle Lowry, good pickup. You got Jimmy Buckets, good coach down there. I obviously they got a lot going on. I just don't fully have confidence in them. As far as I just think Embiid to be to eat in that playoff series.
Yeah,
If they can survive, between Maxey and Harden, and I mean, assuming Embiid can get his every night, and between Maxey and Harden, I'm hoping one of them two could step up enough
yeah.
to keep them, keep them afloat. So that's what I would do. Toronto, on the other hand, I think they would. Once again, I just don't trust Toronto. I think they'd wash them up.
Okay.
But I do think that would be probably a 7-game series between the Heat and Philly. But
Okay.
probably,
Yeah, I mean, I think, man, like if Harden just is who he used to be, you know what I'm saying? I'd have no problem picking him going all the way. But like, you just watch how he's been like this last 100 games, how he's played, whatever it kind of looks like. Not just kind of running from the grind here and there. You know what I'm saying? Just not really doing what's necessary to like prepare himself for this type of run.
for sure.
So I just kind of see Embiid just having to kind of shoulder the load, and I think after a while, it's like, all right, like, but you never know.
Enough's
Harden
enough.
might,
Yeah.
he might be in the hyperbolic chamber right now, some Super Saiyan type shit, just getting right. You know what I'm saying? And really, like, he could have been holding back on us the last few months of the.
No. I mean, I say more so it's just yeah. I mean, like you said, you never know. But I think that Embiid. I mean, obviously Bam's a very a formidable center as well, power forward center.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just that's trusting Embiid. But
Oh yeah,
like you said, you never know. Embiid's also a little fragile, so he might,
yeah, yeah.
that also can happen.
Absolutely. So yeah, all in all, it's gonna be a good matchup. Either depending on whatever team
For sure.
advances, I think that'll be a hell of a matchup. We'll go back down to the bottom of the bracket. I think consensus with the Bucks. I think I'd take the Bucks to advance, whether it was Boston or Brooklyn. I don't know how you feel, but what are your thoughts when it comes to that?
Yeah. I think definitely they would get the Celtics. Like I mean I think they would get the Nets too also for that matter. But I think this once again like they're in playoff form. I
Yeah,
just think Giannis a little too much to handle, and
yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of I agree. I think they'll definitely can take care of that.
Okay.
It's
And then
and I don't
yeah,
know. I just the Nets once again. I know I don't know. I can't imagine them getting through. So I'm not gonna
yeah.
say.
I got you. I know. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's it'd be a miracle. Like I said, I ain't ruling them out. I know they can catch fire in a moment's notice and go ballistic. But it's definitely one of them things. Where it's like, okay, we'll see what kind of unfolds there as this first series kicks off. So yeah. So it sounds like I mean, you got the Bucks there. Meeting anybody. I would say between us, it's either going to be the Sixers or the Heat meeting the Bucks. I'm going to myself take the Bucks to go all the way to the finals, kind of regardless of who that opponent is coming out of that top part of the bracket. And who do you think will end up coming to the finals out of the East?
Yeah, so I have the Bucks going to the finals also.
Okay.
I think well, like I said, like I keep repeating myself a little bit, but yeah, I just think too much to handle. I think of championship team coming into the 3 seed with how they did it. I think it's a very dangerous squad. Yeah, so I just think, and it's right time to bubble for them. They haven't. A famous saying that I was told in track is peak at the right time.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of what they're doing. You don't want to be the best team in January. So
Yeah. Facts. Okay. Now on to the Western Conference. I think this conference, me personally, man, I feel like, I feel like the Suns are kind of, we'll do what we did and just kind of go through the line, but I just like an overview. I mean, I feel like this is probably more of like the predictable conference, in my opinion. So we can start off. It don't really matter to me, honestly, who's in that 8th seed. The Suns are advancing right away, and that's pretty much all I got to say. I don't know if you want to, if you think differently, but, definitely let you chime in.
No, I agree with that. I mean, who knows? But I just, for the sake of it, I guess I picked the Spurs. But no, I definitely think they're rolling. I mean, what do they got? Like 63 wins.
Yeah. Playing.
Devin Booker, CP3. I mean, what more can you say? So, yeah.
Right. Yep. Then go down. I mean, I think this will be one of my favorite series in the first round, Minnesota and Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Memphis is going to get them up out of there in 6. Ja, I think he's got spelling blood in the water. That team, man, I mean, they kind of remind me of the Suns. He's got a whole bunch of, guys that defend. They all shoot the 3 ball, and it kind of got that, that point guard that controls, kind of making everything go. We've seen them without that point guard in the lineup, not skip a beat, and just, continue to play really well.
Yeah.
And
which is shocking. I mean,
yeah, it's insane. Yeah. I mean, it's super impressive. Like, I think we talked about it last night, like, Booker, for example, like, you would think he kind of would have been in that MVP conversation a little bit more just because he was there the entire season and like leading the charge to them getting the best record in the league. But, we know how the MVP award works nowadays. It's just not really, it's kind of more of a participation trophy at this point, or a statistics type trophy, kind of like you said, the Triple Crown, that type of deal, like in baseball, like in the NFL, when it comes to just the best, best guy with the best stats end up getting the award. So yeah, we can go ahead and move on here. We'll go to this Mavericks Jazz matchup. Sucks that Luka, tweaked his calf. I think like Sunday night, last game of the season. Calf strains can, be anywhere from 8 days out to like a month. We've seen all different forms of, calf injuries. I hate to do it because, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm picking the Mavericks to go because I'm literally not picking the Utah Jazz to do anything ever in life. Like, I refuse to do it. I feel like, to me, I think they just get all ramped up and have spectacular regular seasons. You kind of saw later on in the year, I watched them on TV a couple different times, up by 15, 16, 17 points on like the Clippers and the Suns in different games. And they found ways to lose those games. There's talk about Donovan Mitchell not passing the ball enough to Rudy Gobert. There's just a lot of like stuff they got going on internally. Their coach tried to dismiss it and said, yeah, they eat together sometimes. I don't really see anything wrong, doing what he needs to do to kind of keep things intact before the playoffs about to start. But yeah, right. I think Luka will limp out, I think he'll limp out there, still be able to, be productive. I think he'll do fine, do just enough to get them past the Jazz in 7.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't like this Jazz at all, and I'm a pretty big Luka fan. I like his game. I think he's he's going to be a force in the league for a while. So it really, really depends on just how effective he can be. But I guess agreeing with you, assuming that he can be pretty effective, I think he'll find a way to pull it out if he plays a majority of this series. I imagine they'll find a way to pull it out. But I do think on the other side, Donovan Mitchell is a dangerous man, and so I think if Luka is too banged up, I could see Donovan Mitchell going crazy. I think either way, this is probably going 7.
Yeah.
And it really, I think that games, I hate to even put it like this, but it just really depends on how healthy Luka could be, which way that swings. But I guess I will ultimately roll with the Jazz because I think Luka's going to be banged up. So.
Yeah. I probably should too, but I'm gonna just.
No, I'm with you.
I'm gonna be in the. I just can't bring myself.
Out of principle, you can't do it. I feel.
Yeah, I can't bring myself picking to do anything productive. So yeah, we'll go to this 3-6 matchup. I also kind of feel I do feel like this matchup might be a little lopsided, but we got to see how Steph is. It's definitely gonna be a big key. How Klay Thompson, starts to kind of like get back into game shape and plan shape.
Yeah.
I watched him play New Orleans Sunday night. He scored like 41, like 20-something minutes. I mean, a lot of starters didn't play and stuff, but the way he was moving around and just getting shots off, I mean, that's to do nothing but build his confidence, with these games coming up this weekend. I just think with Jokic, like, respect his game. I think it's amazing what he's doing without Jamal Murray and MPJ. But I just don't see – I could definitely see Draymond having that type of, like, I'm checking Jokic all series long and making things as hard as possible as I can for him. Mm-hmm. And I think Golden State, also kind of depends where Steph's at, but I think he's gonna like start practicing this week and might be available. But I do think Golden State will get through pretty easily. I'd say like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah. I think they'll pull this out. The Warriors will pull this out ultimately, even with a banged up Steph. I think Jordan Poole's, coming into his own. Like you said, Draymond, Clay. Mm-hmm. They got so many good pieces. It's just really crazy. I mean, they got the second pick Wiseman, who looked pretty solid, not played all year. He just, they got him in the back. Yeah.
He's chilling.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just crazy how, the kind of franchise they're running. But anyways, I ultimately think they'll pull this out in probably like 6 games. Jokic, good, like a phenomenal player, but I think we'll quickly see whether we could probably do a whole podcast on this, but we'll see if he keeps not winning, if they'll start throwing the Russell Westbrook narrative at him, if he's just stat padding or not. And because, it's crazy that he was that good, or that he had those stats, like, what was it? 2,000, 800, 800 or whatever. But I mean, they're the 6th seed. So it is no real different than when Russ averaged 30, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
So as far as I can say, so I think time would tell with that. But I just can't, like you said, I think Draymond can go put the clamps on him, and that'll be that.
Yeah,
out of there smooth sailing.
Right. Yep. See, like you said, I mean, last year, they beat Portland in like 6 games, ended up getting swept by the Suns. So it's like, like I said, I definitely respect what Jokic has been doing. But it's just like, how long, look at where they're at. I mean, they only won 2 more games than the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves were in the play-in last night, which is insane. There's no way we get on that at a later date as well, but I think the play-in got to be done after this year. That's just my opinion. I just, like, to me, man, I just feel like, I mean, how do you – the Timberwolves are 40, 46, and 36. I even feel like on Brooklyn's in, they're like, what, 43 and 39?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it's got to just be more of like this 8th seed, fight for the 8th seed. To me, it's kind of crazy having like that 7th seed up for grabs like that, especially, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they did what they had to do. One last night. It got a little dicey. I didn't think they was going to win for a second there. But then it's like, imagine you win 46 of your games and you got to go play either San Antonio or, you got to play San Antonio or New Orleans in the 8th seed. And they both like 33 and like 49 or something crazy like that. So I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just think like –
I agree with you to a certain extent. I just think I don't mind. I think it makes it a little competitive.
Oh, yeah.
People, I don't know. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I'm open to the changes, I guess.
I just like definitely enjoy the extra basketball. I mean, as fans, I'm like, shit, I'm hoping that they're going to do a mid-season tournament that they kind of been talking about doing, just kind of make things a little more interesting and make players like engaged and want to play more of the season. But to me, it is just kind of like, I was just sitting there and I'm like, Minnesota is like in danger of like not making the playoffs, but they won, they only had 2 games below. They're 2 games away from being in the 6th seed. So, but yeah, we'll move on. Kind of back to the top of the bracket here. So we'll have, it'll be the Suns. I don't know about you, but I'm picking the Suns to beat either Utah or Dallas. I just think they're gonna have too much. I think anything that's stopping the Suns, and I'd even say like an injury, but we literally watched them just play well without Chris Paul last year, play well without Chris Paul this year. So they're not much is stopping them except for themselves. So I don't know if you think any differently of that, who's going to the conference finals, but that's my pick, is the Suns ultimately moving on past the second round.
Yeah, so I got yes. I got the Suns beating the Jazz in mine, and yeah, no, I just think probably pretty handedly,
Yeah,
like a 5, maybe might get pushed it to a 6, but probably 5 games. Like you said, they're great. I mean, they're too much to handle. I mean, they're really like I thought they were in trouble when Chris Paul went down, and you would have never
man,
known. Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
Karen Payne came off the
You would
bench.
have never known because they never talked about it. But I mean, you would have never.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I just think ultimately, yeah. I mean, they're a great squad.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. No,
and
I don't know. It'd be
yeah,
crazy. It'd be interesting to see if people could stay healthy across the board. Like, or let's say you get a healthy Curry, you get everybody stays healthy. I just think these playoffs could get a little interesting on the West. I
yep.
think it could be, yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Um, and then yeah, I mean, this will be a very intriguing matchup. I think we both got Golden State and Memphis advancing.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. I'm. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go with Memphis. I just want to take them. I think you got Curry coming off an injury. You know, might not be himself. He really wasn't himself for like literally ever since he hit that record, like the 3-point record. He been a nice little slump. I mean, but you know, we already see what he can do. This would be a good time to kind of ramp things up and get it going. You know, wouldn't be surprised if he, you know, rose to the occasion. You know, in the play with the playoffs around the corner. But I just, man, I mean, I was able to watch Memphis play a few times towards the end of the year. I mean, these guys, like the swag is there, you know, and they got shooters. They play defense. They got like a bigger, faster, better scoring version like Pat Bev. Just like you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
Dylan.
yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now.
Bain
Dylan Brooks.
Brooks. Oh,
Dylan Brooks. Yep. They got Dylan Brooks. I mean, they got and Bain, you know, playing the 2.
yeah. No, that's my man. Bain's dope.
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
got my
Jaren
second
Jackson,
cousin, Melton.
D'Angelo Melton off the bench. Yeah, Chris Crawford. Yeah,
But no,
yeah,
they gotta. They, no, so I hate to even not pick them, but I'm going with the experience of the Warriors, and you know that's kind of what I'm banking on for this.
yeah.
So I will pick the Warriors in 7, and I really am kind of I fought it for a while. I didn't. I wrote down a bunch of other shit before I went back and finished that, because it is probably. I mean, this is like I said, if people stay healthy, this could be an epic matchup.
Yep.
Um, you know, I mean, 2 of the best point guards in the game, 2 um, exciting but for different reasons. Point guards, you know, just like so. I think, and if they played each other in the play-in last year, didn't they?
They did,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
God sent them home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yeah, no. So I don't know. I'm going them in 7. I'm hoping, you know, just the experience of the squad. I think they could pull it out, and but I would not be shocked to see the young Grizzlies. I mean, they're phenomenal. I know. I enjoy them, and I easily. I mean, I hate to say it, I really could see them going, but I just, you know, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think you know I'm picking them just off a limb of just like kind of just want to see new blood in there. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see. I mean, you know, Clay, he's been back since like what February, and I don't know that playoff intensity. It just gets ramped up. You know, to where shit can just get real difficult quick. You know what I'm saying? Like harder to get buckets. I mean, you just finished a series. You know, played this team in 7. You gotta go all the way to Memphis. You know, and go see them like 2 nights later. I mean, it's like the cards are definitely like the cards can definitely stack against you very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it get like stuff it can get dicey real quick. But no, I mean we'll see. I think I just feel like
And that's a hell of a flight. That's like they damn near going back to the East Coast.
yeah, and it you know you had I mean Draymond you know just kind of come off a back injury.
Yeah, no, I mean I know they crampling in. I mean they old motherfuckers, but
Yeah.
they got a good young blood. I mean I think J. Poole can give you a game.
Yep.
Even Kabanga, whatever he got some. You know, you see some splashes of him where he'll go off too. So I mean I don't know. I'm just banking on the experience.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
You can't go wrong. I mean to me it's probably
it was a tough one. That was the one I struggled with more than probably any other one.
Yeah. So then that leaves us Suns against Golden State or Memphis. Once again, I just don't see anybody stopping the Suns. I'm gonna go ahead and just call it a matchup in the finals.
Okay. Which if you so you picked the Memphis. How you think that would pan out? 7 games, 6 games? What do you where you?
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think I'm gonna give them. I think the Suns gonna get there and be like revenge tour. Like we this close to bringing it home this year. I think they're gonna play around a lot. I think it's gonna be like 5 or 6. I think they're gonna really.
I respect that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna really be it's gonna be either ugly, you know what I'm saying, or like something that had to kind of go wrong for that game for that series to go 7. In my opinion. So
yeah. So I picked the Phoenix as well. And I don't know. I kind of think it might be their, like you said, kind of revenge. They're riding high. It might be their time. Or they might feel like it's their time, I should say. Just to kind of I feel like once they got in it and last year and got a taste of it, and they're like, I feel like they're gonna want to get back.
Right.
So I'll say with that. And they got a lot of firepower. I mean, they're deep. They got a good center, underrated center. Side note over here, stuff about the Pistons possibly trying to get him, but I don't know. It's just kind of I feel like they're very, very poised and set for this, and I think if they go against the Warriors, if that's the matchup, then I think it'll be. I think either way they'll probably win it in like 6.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I don't want to keep jinxing it, but hopefully, I just feel like every year we get robbed of good shit because of injuries. So hopefully, that doesn't play a factor in any of this. So we can see the real matchups.
Mm-hmm. I think last year with the Suns, I mean, Chris Paul messed his shoulder up, got COVID, messed his wrist up, and I just think
I forgot he got COVID.
Yeah. And I just think like you just look. I think the Suns just kind of this mindset now. They dropped 4 straight. That's what people forget. They were up 2-0 and then just fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like Giannis, they just couldn't really figure out anything to do with him.
I think it's crazy. We both got Bucks, Suns in the playoffs or the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like nothing else really makes sense unless something catastrophic happens to a player or something just crazy happens. But yeah, I mean, I think overall it's one of my favorite times of the year. TNT always has 40 games, 40 nights. I usually tend to lose a little sleep here and there, just trying to watch all the games. Watch them until 12. I think I was, that other game last night. Yeah, that Minnesota game, it didn't get over until 12:15. So it's, it gets a little, but it's a good time of the year though. I'm just looking forward to, watching all these games. You got some teams in there, some new blood. It's good to see the Memphis be the 2 seed. Dope seeing the Mavs be the 4 seed. Good to seeing the Bulls back in the playoffs. Toronto had a little year off, couple years off making the playoff, or a year off making the playoffs. Had them back. Cavs. I mean, they got a shot to, maybe sneak in.
We never picked the finals. Did we finals?
Oh, I was going Suns.
Oh, okay. I'm going Bucks.
Okay.
Back to back. Yeah.
All right.
No, I wasn't sure if we picked it or not. But okay, good deal.
Yeah, I think I think I just kind of was like talk about how great they were, but never really.
Yeah, fair enough.
Committed.
No, so I think they'll ultimately get it just back to back.
Yep.
I think Giannis is he's in that mid-20s, hungry. The second one here put him in a different talk, and he's big, what's the word I'm looking for? Like beast of the East now, I guess.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be mad either way. I just think that I think the Suns are gonna like correct some of the mistakes last year, and find a way to neutralize him and not let him drop 50 like they did in Game 6 last year. So we'll see though. The dude, I literally think you got there's KD unguardable, there's Kyrie unguardable, then there's Giannis unguardable. I just feel like he's just as lethal, even though he's not like an ISO shoot all over the place, but he's just as deadly, and he's also the best help defender in the league too. So super motivated as well.
100%. It's gonna be good. We got a lot to look forward to here.
Absolutely.
No, sure.
But yeah, that was all we had. For this week. Definitely going to start to NFL drafts on the 28th. We're going to start tapping in and, getting more of that content together over the next couple weeks. With that being said, that's all I got for the people. What about you, E?
Yes, sir. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back.
For next time.